Well, she's purring like a kitten up here. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video, and we're back down in the shop getting the second gen ready for Texas Truck Jam. Last video y'all saw, we did fix the oil leak. It was pushing oil out the cam sensor O-ring. So what we're gonna do is finally get the turbo mounted, get all the piping plumbed up, fitted up, tightened down, and see if we can't make some boost. But where we left off, here it is sitting. We still have a turbo on there, and we don't have any of the intercooler piping up to the intake horn. But as you can see, everything still looks good under the hood. We did have to drain the coolant because last night off camera did a little bit of adjusting on the lower radiator hose down here so we could clear. But let's go over to the table and see what we're working with today. So here's our turbo. Here's our intercooler piping for the intake side. And then here is our charge pipe off our turbo. And then as you can see, we got a boot kit plus another one. Just depending on how they sit, we may have to go with this offset from HPS. But this boot kit is from Crazy Carl's, and then you got spring-loaded clamps, so all the good stuff. And then we do have our air intake pipe coming off the turbo. So that's what we have working with today. We finally did get the T3 solid spacer versus the stacked spacers that we had up there at Chris's shop. So that finally came in. That was our main goal, was to get this in, and also the intercooler boot kit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and drop the turbo on there. Make sure that we run a gasket, spacer, then gasket, then turbo. Get that all tightened down. And then just make sure that the downpipe is pretty close. We can do some adjustments on that as well. But we already got the oil feed and oil drain hooked up. Did that off camera. So that's the idea today, is to get this thing up and running, ready for Texas Truck Jam. So we'll see you out there. It's going to be in the show and shine. So this video will probably go up afterwards, but just to let y'all know kind of the time frame of the truck build and where we're at. So let's hop right into it and get to work today. All right, so we got the turbo mounted, got all the studs tight, and got the downpipe mounted as well. Kind of hard to get in there, so it did take a little bit longer than I thought, but we got a really good crush on the gasket. I'll get up here so y'all can see it. But we got a gasket, solid, and then gasket right there. So we're good on that. All four are tight with the serrated nuts, and then our feed band on our downpipe is tight. So got that all mounted up. So that was kind of the hardware of the turbo going on. If we had the oil feed capped, then we could go ahead and start it, but we'll go ahead and take a break from the turbo side and then work on our intake over here. So this one should be pretty easy because it's all factory. The other side is not. So here's our piping for that side, just a straight pipe. Got it powder coated the same color as the turbo, the compressor housing. And then we're just gonna run a 45 boot right here. and then a straight boot. And then we have all our T-clamps that have spring compression on them as well, so nothing will back off and loosen up. So these are really high quality from Crazy Carl's. They just slip right over like that. So let's go ahead and get the bottom boot mounted, and then we'll go ahead and work our way up to the top. All right, so the intake side fought me a little bit. It was pretty tight getting in there, getting all the clamps in and getting it to fit together, but we got it knocked out. She is firm, not going anywhere. I did have to loosen the intake horn bolts to get this to raise up a little bit to get this to link together. But as you can see down there, we're tight right there, and then we're tight on both those. So intake side's done. That's the side that had the least amount of room, but it was kind of a straight shot, so I wanted to start with that one. This one, we got a little more room, but we got to figure out just the way that we want to run it. We do have some adjustment right here, and then this will turn, and then we got the 45 coming out there, and then we have this boot right here. So looking at it, the pipe, it's going to sit in there like that. This will go in the intercooler. This will come up to the turbo, and then we got a little bit of play, see what matches up the best. What we want to try to do is get this essentially as square as possible and then just slide it in that boot. But let's go ahead and knock out the bottom first. This is the one we're gonna go with. Just loosely put it on in there so we can adjust it how we need to get everything kind of bolted up. And then hook up the oil feed, oil drain, and we should be good to go ahead and start it. Y'all haven't seen the truck run with the turbo on it. I have, just to do some testing on the truck before shooting the video, but here it is. It's gonna look really good once it's all mounted up. So let's go ahead and work on the turbo side of the engine. All right, so we got that installed on this side. As you can see, not too bad. We cleared the lower coolant hose. We got this tight right here, that tight. This is shoved in pretty far, all the way to about right there, so we got a good clamp on it. And then we got 1, 2 tight. So that kind of rounds out what it's gonna look like under here. You got your charge pipe elbow right here down to your intercooler. So everything looks good. There's what y'all are sitting on. So I'll back this out and we'll get a good little overview. All right, so as you can see, here we go. From the exhaust side first, turbo bolted on, downpipe bolted on. The only thing we have left is oil feed, oil drain, charge pipe down here. Let's put this back on our overflow. It does not have coolant in it, so we got to fill it up. And there it is right there. And then we have our charge pipe down here, intercooler, run over here, comes back out right there, up into our intake horn, back into our engine. So hopefully this is where we're going to make boost. We'll start it up, see what it sounds like once we get the oil drain and oil feed on there. So not too bad of an install, just a lot of making sure everything's kind of lined up and kind of brute force to get it to line up and sit right. So let's go ahead and knock out the oil feed, oil drain, and then we'll fire it up, see how she sounds. All right, so those are on. That's tight. That's tight down there. The oil drain's tight, and then that is pushed inside the hole in the block. So we're good to go. That's capped. So last thing to do is just tighten up our compressor housing right here, get everything locked in, and then she's ready to go. So let's get that knocked out. It's been a lot of work tonight. I'm not trying to speed through it, but am trying to get this finished because we still have to clean it up. Make sure that we have coolant in it, things of that nature. So it's still going to be a long night down here in the shop, but let's go ahead and get that compressor housing tightened up, and then we'll start her up, see how she sounds. All right, guys, so here we are getting ready to fire it up. I did go ahead and put the air intake on. So here's how she sits. The design of it is to bring it back towards your air window right here on the side of your fender. Dad's hopping up inside the cab, but everything's tight. We're good to go. We do have it filled with water and a coolant mix. We'll start it, let it draw down, add some more as it's running. But here it is sitting there. You got it in neutral. All right, so let's go ahead, fire it up, see how she sounds. Well, she's purring like a kitten up here. Very quiet up here in the engine bay. So let's go back here. We'll let her idle. So she's sucking air, that's good. So that means we're getting air through here. I don't really have anything to check a boost leak, but we're not really going for that right now. So we're just gonna let it idle. We'll check the coolant. Doing what it's supposed to. There, it's starting to draw that coolant down. We'll add some more. All right, guys, so that's gonna wrap up this video. As you saw, we got the truck started. Me and Dad did go on a little cruise. He held 2 spotlights. It really wasn't anything worth filming. But next video you'll catch and see how it runs. It's kind of surprising, so it's good to see. But as for now, she is ready for Texas Truck Jam. I don't really have that good of a light. Let me grab one. So we still have a little bit of an oil leak on the oil feed. It's just a seep. Even under high boost pressure, it's not really leaking all that bad. But here it is. So this is what you'll see at Texas Truck Jam. This is the way it's going to sit for now. No tuning. Just a bigger turbo and bigger injectors right now with a standard output pump. Appreciate you tagging along in this video. Next video will be of Texas Truck Jam. Hanging out with the guys at Unrivaled again. Seeing all the good drag race trucks there. Show trucks there. And then also no prep stuff. So exciting event. I'll catch you on that video. Till next time, Foss out.